What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite New York Jets subscription podcast, Badlands. I'm your host, Joe Caporoso. 12 pack Jets Patriots round two for the 2024 regular season. 2-5 versus 1-6. Going to give my predictions for what happens in this game as the New York Jets look to end what has been nothing short of an excruciating 4-game losing streak. It feels like an eternity ago that the Jets kicked the ever-living crap out of the Patriots on prime time on Thursday Night Football. Robert Saleh was the coach. Davante Adams wasn't here. Hassan Reddick wasn't here. Things were just different back then. And here we are. The Jets, 7-point favorites in most spots. New England, 1 week one. They're on a 6-game losing streak of their own. They are coming back from losing in London to Jacksonville, playing without a bye week. This game, obviously, in New England, should be on paper the perfect remedy for the Jets to end their losing streak. As a Jet fan, we always say you never know, and you're never that comfortable with any of these games. I think the line is right on this one. New England is very bad. I think they're down there with Carolina for being the worst team in the league. That doesn't mean that these division games can't be close, can't be frisky. When the Jets played New England earlier this year, you were dealing with Jacoby Brissett. Patriots are now playing Drake May, who's, he's looked all right in his first 2 games. He's certainly better than Brissett. He'll push the ball down the field more. He can run around a little more, which concerns you as a Jets fan. Jets, they're getting some people back, and they're also going to be missing some new people, right? So we're going to have Reed and Carter back in the secondary, which is a positive. Not going to have Tony Adams at safety. You can make a case that they're actually might be better off right now with Jalen Mills and Isaiah Oliver starting at safety, which I think is how it's going to play out. Mills looked really good in his Jets debut, and Jets have struggled a lot at safety. Hansen likely to start at guard for AVT, who's banged up again. Hassan Reddick is expected to play in this game, so we will finally see him. I don't think he's going to play 50, 60 snaps, but I think he'll play a meaningful amount. No Al Lazard, so we'll get more Mike Williams and maybe Malachi Corley active. I think this is going to be more of a Mike Williams thing than a Corley thing. I'll cut right to it. And the 12-pack, unlike the Jets, is pacing pretty well record-wise. We're 5-2 on the season. Making picks. I did pick the Jets to lose to Pittsburgh. I didn't think they were going to lose that bad, but I did think they would lose. I do think the Jets are going to beat New England. I do think they're going to cover the spread. I don't think it's going to be a chest-bumping, relaxing blowout. I think it's going to be these are like some deep cuts, but think like 2012 when they beat the Rams, like with Sanchez throwing a touchdown pass to Chaz Schillens. 2016 with Fitz, or when they beat the Browns. It was close for a while. Anua had a touchdown in that game. That kind of game where they're playing a team that's bad and they kind of hang around. It's close for a bit. You're sweating a little bit. And in the end, they find a way to win by 7 to 10 points. And I think that's what will happen in this game. Jets win 27-17, 24-14. I think it's close-ish into the third quarter, into the early part of the fourth. And ultimately, the Jets are just able to sort of out-talent New England. I think they're going to be able to move the ball well in this one. I think Rodgers will throw for 230, 240. He was very comfortable throwing against New England last time. Now he has Devontae. He has Garrett playing better. Even without Lazard, he'll have Mike Williams out there. So I think statistically he'll have his best game since the last time he played New England in week 3. I think Brees will continue to rack up a good amount of yards, be very active in the pass game. My underdog pick, which I'll share out on Instagram, Discord, and Twitter before, is going to be built around Rodgers passing yards over, Brees total yards over, and Drake May rushing yards over. I think May will make some plays. I think he's going to run for 30 or 40 yards. I think he'll throw for 220 yards. I think he'll have a couple turnovers and a couple touchdowns, and will be more challenging for the Jets by a good amount than Brissett was. But I think ultimately Rodgers and the offense do enough in this game to pull away halfway through the fourth quarter. And the Jets, they win by 7 to 10 points. And I don't think anyone leaves ecstatic and saying that the entire season is saved now. And they have such a quick turnaround to this Houston game that it's like, well, here we go, right back Thursday night football in a really hard spot against a really good team in Houston. And somehow in the look-ahead line, the Jets are narrow favorites in that game. I'm not sure if that holds or not, but we'll see. But I think they will handle business. I don't think we're going to get the nuclear winter that could happen if they lost this game. And they absolutely could. The Jets are very dysfunctional right now. The Patriots are probably the only team who's more dysfunctional. But I think from a talent perspective, the Jets will get it done. So I'm saying Jets win, Jets cover, Rodgers over passing yards, Brees over total yards, Drake May over rushing yards. If you're looking at a couple things to pick out, would be if you were ever thinking on betting Mike Williams, receptions or yards, this would be the game because he'll take Lazard's reps. I still think Garrett's going to have a lot of space to operate with so much attention going to Devontae. So, I see his numbers getting like devalued on some lines, like pretty good value, likely. I mean, even with his terrible drop against Pittsburgh, statistically, he's been producing a lot. Like, so if you have Garrett and Brees in fantasy, since the Vikings game with Garrett, you've probably been pretty happy. And these last 2 weeks with Brees are happy because he's back to being highly impactful in the passing game. Now, other little tidbits. I'm still really worried about the kicking situation. I could see Greg missing another one in this game. Maybe it doesn't end up mattering because the Jets, win by enough where it doesn't kill them. But I don't think he finishes the season as the team's kicker. I think he'll miss another one at some point, and they'll just have to cut bait and go get whatever they can on the waiver wire. I think Reddick plays like 20 to 22 snaps. I could see him having like a half sack or something. The Jets ostensibly should be playing with a lead in this game, so they should get some chances to tee off. So I could see him getting on the board right away in week one. It should be a good game for Will McDonald. It should be a good game for Quinnen, who will get his life a little easier with Reddick out there. Ramondre has been playing. He didn't do much in the first matchup. The Jets turned him over, and he struggled to get going, but he's still a key engine for that offense. Him and Hunter Henry. Jets, look, they did a great job in week two. I would roll over a lot of that game plan. And, you're getting New England again, flying back from London without a bye week. There's no excuses to lose this game, man. If the Jets lose this game, that they're in a different depth of embarrassment then, because then they've really quit on the season because there's just no good excuse to lose it. It could absolutely happen. That team that showed up in the second half against Pittsburgh could lose this game. But even the team that we saw, in the first half against Pittsburgh, the second half against Minnesota, the first half against Denver, and then, of course, the team that we saw against New England should be able to win this one. And I think they will. And it doesn't mean, if they win it or whatever happens with the Houston game, that I'm going to be saying that the season's saved and they're going to beat Houston and they're going to be right back at 4-5. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it on the very quick turnaround on Thursday. But in the vacuum of this Sunday, I think the Jets will get a win. I think they will get to 3-5. And I think something we don't want to sleep on, because I know it's a different iteration of the Patriots. I think they will complete a season sweep of the New England Patriots, and it will be their third straight win against them, which is a nice thing. So 1:00, a normal kickoff. Connor and I will have our post-game hopeful party on the feed, probably around like 7:30. Usually is where we get it live on 1:00 kickoffs. Promo code Badlands when you play the underdog stack, which I'll share out again here on Twitter, on the Discord, on Instagram. Use the promo code Badlands and you get a deposit match up to $1,000. So take advantage of that. And thank you everyone for interacting with the content all week. I know 2-5, it's like, man, like you always worry, like, is there anyone out there to commiserate with? And there certainly has been. Discord's been awesome this week. We did a live Q&A Thursday night that went for like an hour, which was a lot of fun. We'll do more of that and try to record them going forward so we can release them as pods. And I had a full deck of content this week. So, thanks to, the other guys, Flight Plan, TOJ Talks, Buck the Trend, all out there. All will be out there after this game and leading into Jets Texans. So thank you everyone for listening. let's get a win, man. Let's end this losing streak. It's always fun to beat New England. So I hope to be talking to you about a victory the next time on this feed.